Welcome to the Creativity Corner, where, we're just a small group of folks. Katie's going to do a brief presentation on the Great Vape Escape, and then we're just going to have an open chat. And as a reminder, all of Expanded School Mental Health programming is paid for by a grant through the Bureau for Behavioral Health. And we are Marshall University School Health Technical Assistant Center, School of Medicine. Myself and Crystal Criswell run that. And we're pleased to welcome you today. Katie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Katie Williamson, and I work with Southern Highlands Community Mental Health Center in Southern West Virginia. We cover three-county region with Mercer, McDowell, and Wyoming County. And my main job is to manage our expanded school mental health grant in our three counties. And I also kind of like my role is just all over the place, so it's hard to explain to anybody like what exactly I do, but I would say that I'm a curriculum consultant for all of our schools. I kind of vet and find and help connect our schools with evidence-based programs, train them in different programs, and go and do technical assistance with them as they need it. I also help manage our team of our team of therapists and case managers, and I work with them and provide them with different training materials, different books. I facilitate a lot of funding for them and bring in some extra partnerships through our community to help supply them with everything that they need to fulfill their purpose with our students. So I'm hoping that my voice will stay with me. I was just telling Tiffany and Crystal that my kids have been passing back a nasty cold and cough. So my voice is a little raspy and I can feel it kind of weakening. So I'm hoping that I stay on point. So we'll just call it a theatrical effect for vaping. I'm going to sound like somebody that's been vaping. So this is the Great Vape Escape presentation. We started this project when our CEO, it's kind of our ongoing joke, she told us that we were going to do something with the slogan, the Great Vape Escape. She just liked the sound of that, liked the ring to it. And I thought this was something that already existed. So I started Googling and searching, because I hunt down different curriculum. And so I thought this was something out there. And I could not find anything on the internet. There were some folks up in like the Northern Panhandle who were doing a like desk to desk tabletop version of an escape room. And then I found some virtual escape rooms, but nothing to the degree of what we've created in the last 9 months or so. So Tiffany, are you good with me going ahead and moving forward then with the presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Let's go.
All right, here we go. So this is the logo that we created and that we like to use and brand any of our materials. We have t-shirts with this on it that all of our folks can wear as we go out into the schools. So we have this on our flyers, on our rack cards. This is the name of our fictional vape lab that our students will be exploring. It's called VaporX Labs. And we like to inform our schools that we do have a mission as we go into the field and offer this. So the kids will be acting as detectives and they'll be investigating a simulated explosion. And they'll be solving several different puzzles, decoding, unlocking physical lock boxes, finding keys, a whole plethora of different puzzles for them to unlock and to solve. And that varies on the grade level that we're working with. So the more advanced the students, the more puzzles, the fewer puzzles for the lower grade levels. Our target grades right now are 5th through 12th. And we've been asked to bring this as low as second grade because we've had a couple of second graders recently suspended for vaping. And I explained that this probably wouldn't be the best fit for them, but we are still working on finding ways to include our elementary age students. Right now, I'm running Catch My Breath group with fourth and fifth graders. So they are actually going to get to be the first group to go through because they've been my first group that's completed the Catch My Breath modules. So that was kind of their incentive to join me each week to increase their attendance. You've got to come every Wednesday if you want to see Miss Katie. And if you want to bring a buddy to go through the escape room with you, then I need you to bring back your adult interview, which is part of the Catch My Breath curriculum. So that was kind of their encouragement piece. Come every Wednesday, bring a buddy to the escape room if you bring me back your adult interview. So let's see here. Why an escape room? It definitely takes kids beyond a traditional health lecture. I even remember way, 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 way back in the day, whenever I was in elementary school, the prevention coordinator in our county would bring in all of these hands-on models for us to look at. She would bring in jars of like organs and, you know, crazy things for us to look at, and where we could open up the teeth, the mouth, the dental thing, and like use a big toothbrush and everything. Her name was Carlene. If that tells you how impactful she was, that was like 30 years ago. And so I remember doing like the drunk driving things where you'd put on the goggles and go through all these simulations. So when it comes to talking to kids about prevention and these big topics, we have to make it impactful. So this is just another twist for us to get kids out of the classroom beyond traditional lectures and get them engaged in an interactive model. So it definitely is going to encourage their critical thinking because right now, I would say one of our biggest challenges with the escape room is finding the right rigor and the right content to match like a variety of different learners and readers. So one of the components of the escape room is to have a series of letters or correspondence, memos kind of circulating through that the kids find. And some is redacted information, some you have to find with um, a black light. So we really need them to be good readers to be able to get the full experience. So we're looking at different ways to differentiate that type of activity within the escape room. And again, I would say that's our biggest challenge right now is how can we differentiate this across a wide audience of learners. So our biggest goal here is retention. We want the kids to remember and retain the vital health facts that we're going over. So that's why we use the escape room. Here's the logo that we've created. So a lot of the things within the escape room is branded with Vaporix, the future of flavor. We have this on badges. We have this on let's see what else. We have this on the side of the side of the escape room. We have this in the CEO's office. So we're really wanting this to feel like you're right there within the taking it in as far as like branding and coming up with stickers and labels and things like that to put throughout the escape room. So when you go inside of the escape room, it goes across 4 different environments. The first is the advertising room. And the kids will look at the different marketing tactics that are used to target their age group. One of the things in the escape room that we have on like a thought board, kind of like one of those webs where you draw, your main idea and then you web out. And so one of the things on there is if we get them at a young age, we build a customer for life. And so we're pointing out those marketing tactics. We're talking about the flavors, how are they targeting youth? Well, they're talking about blue raspberry and cotton candy. And one of them is cereal flavored milk. So all kinds of crazy, fruity, colorful flavors for to really entice children. The next room that they move into is the chemical laboratory where there's a simulated explosion. So we do advise in our parental consent in our parental letter that if there's any child that deals with sensory issues, sensitivity to light, or sensitivity to small spaces like claustrophobia or anything like that, to let us know ahead of time, and we can like modify the room a little bit and pull up like one of our zipper doorways. We can kind of like expand the space a little bit, but still allow them to participate and to enjoy the experience. Um, so in this part of the escape room, they'll go through the chemical laboratory. That's where they learn about all of the chemicals that are actually in vapes. So there's a myth that the smoke cloud, the vapor cloud that comes out is just water that's turned into steam, vapor. And that's actually not true. So um, we talked to the kids about that. And then one of the other props that we're going to bring in is like empty bottles of antifreeze, aerosol cans, mock up a bottle to look like formaldehyde, different things like that, and have it look like those have been dumped in and added to the vapes that are being created within vapor rigs. Um, the next room that they go into is the medical exam room, and this is where they see the physical impact on the human organs. So the only three that we focus on for the sake of time and for the sake of retention are the heart, lungs, and brain. Vaping actually affects multiple organs of the body, but those are the three big ones that we like to focus on. Um, and then finally, they move into the CEO's office where they start to investigate the business behind the lies. And so they're through the correspondence, remember the letters I was telling you about, they are piecing together that there is somebody within Vaporix who is tired of lying to kids, they're tired of targeting kids, and they say that they can't do this anymore. So they begin to actually uncover the truth and try to put out a prevention plan and a quit plan and release that to the public. And so they're really immersed into this whole storyline. And when they get to the CEO's office, the final thing that they unlock, and you can see the plan sitting there when you go in. It's like there's a light shining down on it. It's in a clear box. It's sitting on like this pedestal, and it's right there. But you have to find the key to be able to unlock the prevention plan. And so when they leave the escape room, they go to a debriefing and they fill out that prevention plan. And so two of the big things that Catch My Breath teaches is refusal skills and exit strategies. And so we like to pull in the four different Catch My Breath has four different components, and we like to pull that in to each room of the escape room. And then when they finally leave, like we want them to have a practiced refusal skill and a practiced exit strategy. So that's something that we do.
Katie, you're muted, dear.
Okay, there we go. Right now we have four 10 by 10 pop-up black tents. And we chose black because the power is out in Vaporix. There has been an explosion, and we wanted it to kind of look like a blackout. And so all around the top, there are rope lights, and we have desk lamps on each of our black tables in the escape room. And so it's a low light area, which again is another reason why we wanted to share that with parents. So they come into the advertising lab first, then they go over to the chemical laboratory, then they come up to the doctor's office, over to the CEOs, and then out. So they're all positioned together in a quad. And in the middle, we kind of have our power block and our surge strips and all of our cords and everything laid down on the floor and covered. So this is kind of the flow of what it looks like. When the kids go through, every time I hit my space bar, it is muting me for some reason. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move me through the different slides.
Yeah, that's the quick key to mute.
Thank you, because I did not know that. All right, so a few weeks back, we had our board that we've Southern Highlands has been going through this whole process in the last year, becoming a certified community behavioral health center. So through that whole process, we have a board who helps us reach those standards and maintain those standards. And they came down to see the escape room and to go through it. So some of the people that you're going to see in the pictures and in the video at the end are those adults, those folks who are on that board. So in the station one, the ads and the tactics, here is that picture of like the thought board with all of the webbing. And this is if the company has been in strategizing how to target kids. So you can see here in the picture, like build a lifelong customer, create an invisible ad, create stealth tech. And so some of those ideas are like vaping pens. There are hoodies with, you always see kids like chewing on the strings of their hoodie. Well, there are vapes where you can put a cartridge like on your shoulder, on your chest, or like back at the nape of your neck. You can do a cartridge insert and actually vape through the strings of your hoodie. It is absolutely bizarre, the things that they come up with to go into stealth mode when it comes to kids vaping. So that's one of the things that we talk about. Here are some of the ads that we've created. Let's see. Taste the rainbow. So it looks really cute, but down here, formaldehyde, acrolein, nickel, and lead. Those are some of the actual ingredients. We have a social media poster in the advertising lab. And of course, we didn't want to and we're not allowed to use real vaping. In Catch My Breath, we do pull up real vaping ads, but we're not going to put those in our actual escape room when we're trying to prevent it. So here it's got fake likes, and then again, the ingredients down here. This targets an athlete, but if you notice here, the stamina is at 50%, a critical error at lung capacity, and the heart rate is critical. So these are some of the advertisements that we have within our advertising room. Then at station 2, here's an actual picture of some of the things in our chemical lab. We tried to make it look like there was this slimy green junk that came out of the explosion. Some splatters, some spills, and that's where we'll have our other jugs and bottles of all of the nasty chemicals that are in there. Here is a felt board that we have hanging in our doctor's office. We have a couple of other human body anatomy models in there as well. Some of those are for the older kids to use, and then this is for our lower level grades. And so they actually pull some clues out of the out from behind the brain piece. All of this is removable, so it sticks on here with Velcro on this felt board that hangs up, and they pull out the heart and they pull out the lungs, and all of that has clues and numbers and codes behind it. Okay. Finally, in the CEO's office at Station 4, this is an actual picture of the CEO's desk, and we even have his nameplate here. You can't hardly see it in the picture, but his name is Marcus Hale. He's the fictional CEO of Vaporix. Here's a place where we've hidden a lot of clues on the calendar. And then here is a notepad where the kids have to take a pencil and shade over some marks and words and things like that that have been written on that paper before. And then you see a lot of puzzle pieces. We're actually going to do not paper puzzle pieces. We're going to pay for a magnetic puzzle board and do magnetic puzzle pieces. That's one of the things that we learned after running through this a couple of times, that the paper ones are way too hard to keep up with. So we're going to do we're just going to design and buy a magnetic puzzle, and it has a lot of the prevention plan on the puzzle. So they collect those puzzle pieces as they go throughout the whole escape room and bring that to the end. This flower pot right here looks like an ordinary flower pot, but it actually has a key hidden down inside of it. This looks like an ordinary charging block for your iPhone that actually pulls out and has a couple of things hidden inside of that. One of these books opens up to have like a space inside of it. And this wooden puzzle block right here slides open and has some things hidden inside of it. So those are a couple of places where we've hidden things. And again, the younger the kiddos are, the fewer puzzles. When we finish, excuse me, we will offer the kids a chance to quit if they report being addicted or daily users, 30-day users, if they ask for more support. We'll have staff on hand, and we will offer them the quit plan. So this is linked here. Here is the quit plan. Can everybody see now that I've moved to a different website? Okay, cool. So it asks you what type of tobacco you're quitting. You can choose vapes. You can choose your date to quit. You can even plug in the amount that it's costing you. You can give your reasons for quitting. You can identify your triggers, whether it be your social situations, if it is part of a certain routine in your day, your emotions, or just having nicotine withdrawal. And then it asks for how you will reach out for support, whether it be through a friend, if it will be through a group, a social media group, or like actually talking to an interventionist, a doctor, a counselor. And then after you've selected all of that, you click Let's Go, and we will print the plan for the child that day. So that is just a really cool thing on smokefree.gov. It is free. It has a whole lot of other resources on here. A lot of tools and tips. Okay, so let me go back to PowerPoint. All right, so We use a lot of the promising practice components of Catch My Breath within our 4 rooms, and then we absolutely use that in our debriefing. So if you're not familiar with Catch My Breath, it is completely free. There are a lot of other components that are on that website that you do have to pay for, but the Catch My Breath vaping program is completely free. And so we're really wanting to tie what we're doing to any type of promising practice or rising EBPs or other existing evidence-based programs. And so I'll get to a little bit more of that towards the end of the presentation. But let's see, I think I've covered everything on this slide, but we plan on having at least 4 professionals on staff the day of the escape room, and that way we can offer any confidential help or intervention that same day. So does anybody need for me to bring up Catch My Breath, or is everybody familiar with that?
I think everybody here is familiar with it.
Good. I wasn't sure my audience, so. Here's the flyer that we've created. It goes over Southern Highlands, who we are, what the escape room is, has a little bit of information about who would be on staff that day, and then all of our partners, and then it has our email address on who to contact. Right now, when we plan and schedule with schools, I like to tell them that we either need anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to set up. And that can be the day before we offer it, or it can be the morning of. We obviously need it to be close to a power outlet for us to power everything. And then always have like another weather option in case we need to move it indoors. So a lot of folks are just opting to go ahead and set it up indoors in their gymnasium, and they're adjusting their student schedules for us to set this up in the gym. So as we're planning this with students, I've mentioned a couple of challenges already. So one would be differentiating across like all grade levels. How are we going to get the content just right so that it's not too easy and it's not too hard? The next one is when we get into the school, you're going to be doing this with whole grade levels. So that's a lot of kids. How are you going to cycle them through this main event that you can only put 5 to 6 kids through at a time? Because you cannot cram the escape room full of, 10 or 20 kids and expect it to be impactful. So we've broken this down into like a rotation of different stations. We have a virtual field trip on vaping prevention that is offered through Catch My Breath. It's a 17-minute video. We have a hands-on human anatomy floor puzzle activity, and it's like this huge floor puzzle. It's 100 pieces. But my son and I worked it ahead of time. And what we do is we take the puzzle apart in sections and then put that in a Ziploc bag. And so you give that one Ziploc bag to like 2 or 3 kids, and they work that part. And then you've got 2 or 3 kids working another part. And as they finish their little section, then you put the whole thing together. But then you've got the different ways that vaping affects each of those. Like within their baggie, you've got the little card that tells how vaping affects all of the organs of the body. So while we only focus on heart, brain, lungs, within the vaping, the VaporX escape room itself, we kind of touch on the other organs through that hands-on activity. Excuse me. So that's another thing that we offer to them. And then finally, they go through the actual escape room and then have their debrief and quit plan. So as we move kids through And obviously you can't do the debrief until you've done the escape room, but as we're kind of like moving kids, we have various activities that they can partake in as we move kids around. So that is, I would say, the very biggest challenge is like all of the moving parts with that many kids. So, again, we like to tie everything we're doing to an EBP. So the way that we like to present this to schools is we can do this kickoff event for you, but we want you to use Catch My Breath. We want to show you In Depth, which is an intervention for ages 14 and up. We want you to check into ripple effects if you're one of our grant schools that already has a ripple effects license. We want to show you how to assign vaping lessons or a playlist for your kids. It could be opening the door to them using Botman life skills. So again, we just really want to bring everything back to an evidence-based practice. So when we go to the schools and we talk to them, that's when we can pitch for their connection with all of these different curriculum. Moving forward, we have been partnering with West Virginia ACTS. That stands for West Virginia Association of Creative Health Solutions, WVACHS. And Dr. Dan Doyle, he has been working for a long time with several counties in West Virginia and offering basically like an incentive program for them to use Catch My Breath within their school. So he's been training teachers, counselors, school nurses, and then gives them a pre-test, gives that to the kids. The kids complete the 4 modules and then do the post-test. And after that completion, he offers that the person who implemented a stipend and that they can use within their classroom. And then he offers the school a stipend. It ranges based upon your enrollment, but about average of $1,500 for the school to use on a health and wellness purchase or purchases. So he reached out to me and asked if I would like to use that same evaluation tool for our program. Since it is brand new, we wanted to do some type of evaluation to see and to measure the efficacy. So we're partnering with him. We're learning more about what his team, what they do within our state, and how we can all work together with the Great Vape Escape. Southern Highlands is also working with our legal advisors to look into copywriting and trademarking. I told Tiffany before we got on here, like, I absolutely am not being stingy. I want this to go as far and to as many folks as it can so that we can help as many kiddos as we can. We just wanted to make sure we were doing that in the best way for our best interest, with getting everything protected and such. So right now we're scheduled with 4 schools. It's gaining interest weekly. Again, I'm actually turning down as many as I've booked because of everybody's wanting it like after testing. So we're having to plan and like be pretty careful with how we're planning things and working out all of the bugs. And then again, we're working on adjusting the content for all reading levels. So that's kind of our work that we have cut out for us as we're moving forward. I do want to mention our community partners. None of this would be possible without the funding that has came from the Highland Educational Project. They have been tremendous in helping us with sponsoring and helping us purchase a lot of the materials, all of the props. And they don't even question, like, why are you buying a coat rack? Why are you buying a smoke machine? Like, what are you doing? No, they're just so good about all of my crazy ideas and everything for the staging and the props. So we've really received a lot of help from the WVU Extension office in Wyoming County. Reagan, the lady that I've been working with, she's actually like on an escape room team. She's an escape room enthusiast, and she and her friends travel around to different escape rooms. And um, so she was a great person for me to talk to about how to create the storyline and all of the puzzles. And then, of course, our Wyoming County Prevention Coalition. Um, they've been so helpful in partnering with us and offering some funding as well. So I am going to play for you a video, and it's only about a minute or so long. And this is the day that we presented it to our board for our CCBHC. So you'll see grown-ups in this one.
See it?
Yeah, kinda. Company should ever find these key points. As for the doctor who is planning to talk to us about the danger, he has been handled.
Dr. Dan Doyle, he is part of one of the developers for the Catch My Breath program.
Mhm.
Do you know that? I think, and so I think that was in that you were working with him to do the pre and post. I think that's really interesting. And then the other question is, if you were invited to set this up for like vendor displays, once you get all the copyright and trademark and all that stuff worked out and permissions from your legal team, would you be available to set this up for adult events at like conferences and things of that nature?
Yeah, so right now, that's a very, very recent question that we've had. And we kind of been calling it like an exhibition mode for the escape room. And
Mhm.
so what we're looking at doing is reducing the amount of puzzles drastically for a quick reset.
Mhm.
Because as people go through the escape room, of course, we have to go back in and reset it and put
Yes.
all of the keys back, lock everything back, put all of the clues back. So we're looking at truncating the entire process for like an exhibition mode for the escape room. And we're not quite there yet, but I absolutely want this to be available.
The West Virginia ESMH website has many resources and tools for your convenience, including detailed information about our framework, a 10-step implementation guide, approved evidence-based programs per tier for grantees, an extensive resources page, and a news and events page where you can see highlights from ESMH and AWARE grant sites as well as upcoming trainings. We encourage you to check out all our videos on the Marshall University School Health Technical Assistance Center's YouTube channel.